Hi, Annie.
Hi, Court.
Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning. Great to be back together with you.
Yes, always.
So, today's episode I think, is going to be a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite mindfulness practices. And for our listeners, today I'll be guiding us in a formal practice that is a little bit different than the practice that I guided Annie in a few episodes ago, which was the body scan. This is a mindful eating meditation, so it's a little bit more interactive than the body scan meditation.
Grab
But
a snack or
yes,
right?
yes, thank you. So, those of you who want to actually practice mindful eating, as I guide Annie and as I do the same practice with Annie, take some time now to grab a snack. It can be traditionally, this practice is done with two raisins. John Kabat-Zinn, who started the mindfulness-based stress reduction program, he teaches us with raisins. So you can use raisins, you can use two apple slices. It's two of any chosen snack, and it can be two pieces of chocolate. It can be, if you're my son and one of my sons wants two potato chips. So really any snack of choice is perfectly fine. So just take some time to grab a snack. And
I have to tell you, Court, this is like when you thought of this as a topic, I'm like, I could really use this because there might be no one that eats less mindfully than I. Like I am always doing
mhm,
something else while eating. Even though I know how important this is, I do. It's just I'm talking, I'm just like it's not a time when I'm intentional. It's just like to eat and kind of get it done.
yeah,
And it's just it's a time, especially when I think you can be really mindful and intentional, and I'm just not. I like eat to finish. I'm hungry. I eat to finish, or
yeah.
and I don't ever. It's a great time in your day to weave it in if you're looking for a few minutes of mindfulness. So I think it's an awesome topic.
It's great. No, I think it's great that you're sharing this, because I think that in the busyness of our lives that I know I say I mindfully inhale my foods at the time, because we're juggling so much. We eat on the go, we eat while we're multitasking. A lot of times we eat through our lunches like we're still doing work, or we work through our lunches rather. We may eat at our desk. And so this is a great way to really deepen our moment to moment awareness. And it's also, I have some clients who are working on losing weight. So there are so many attributes to not only practicing mindfulness, like the formal practice, but also finding ways to better care for yourself, to understand your relationship to food and to be aware of the foods that you choose. So yeah, this is great, and thanks for being honest with that. I think you're not alone in sort of that sort of eating on the go, or not really taking the time to slow down. So the reason why I chose this particular practice, there were a bunch of practices that I had in mind, but a few weeks ago I released a newsletter that talked about ways that we can weave mindfulness into our morning routine. So whether we're like brushing our teeth or walking the dog, we can choose to pay attention and show up for those moments. And people really like that, because they may not have time for like the formal like we did the body scan. They may not have necessarily 15-20 minutes in the morning to sit on the cushion and to do that type of meditation, but we can informally weave these practices into our lives. So I followed up with that newsletter with a subsequent newsletter that talked about ways that we can weave mindfulness into our midday.
Yeah.
So this is one, hopefully we all get an opportunity to eat lunch in the middle of the day, if not, at least have a snack, or some people have a cup of coffee. So really this is a really nice way to weave mindfulness into your midday routine. So that being said, you have your snack?
I do.
Okay. So I'm gonna invite you, and I'm gonna do the same, to place your first snack in the palm of your hand. or a piece of it. If it's a bigger size snack, you can just break off a piece of it. And almost as if you were seeing this particular snack or food item for the very first time. Sometimes when I teach children, when we do mindful eating with children, I say it's as if you are from outer space and you've arrived, you've landed on Earth for the first time and you're just seeing this food. So, with what we call a beginner's mind, with this fresh set of eyes, looking at this snack. And we're going to use our senses. So, we're going to use all of our senses to really explore this snack. So the first sense that we're going to use is our sense of sight. So using your sense of sight, just popcorn out for me. And by popcorn, just for those of you who are new, I don't mean throw popcorn at me, but like just say a word or two of what it is you're noticing as you look at your snack.
Crunchy.
Crunchy, okay.
Sweet. I did think to myself, is this too large to fit into my mouth right now as like a bite-sized piece? So that I'm thinking about missing it. Sugary, layered.
Layered, okay. How about colors? Are you noticing any colors?
Brown, light brown.
Well, your sound, I heard light brown and then your sound went out for 1 second.
A little bit of white, and they sort of blend together.
Okay. And how about the shape? Anything that you're noticing? Is it even? Is it
It's a little uneven, but like a little rectangle.
okay? So then I'm just going to invite you to take your snack using your thumb and your forefinger and then just taking it up and maybe placing it up towards the light. So noticing if there are any other colors or any other characteristics that you notice as you hold your snack up to the light.
Yeah, it's like sugary, which is making me think maybe this isn't as healthy as I thought.
Notice the thought, notice what you're telling yourself. Notice
Yeah,
if you're judging your
yeah.
chosen snack or yourself for choosing that snack. And then just taking your snack and then placing it back into your hand. And we're going to use our sense of touch. So once again, taking your forefinger and your thumb, and let's just move our snack around in between the fingers and noticing how it actually feels in this moment. Maybe squeezing your snack.
So it's a little hard, like and bumpy and rough, like rough around the edge. It's not smooth. So it's
Okay. And I'm noticing mine. Mine is wet here, and I keep noticing myself drying my fingers off here. But so I'm noticing mine's a bit wet. And we're going to use our sense of listening. And I don't think most of us usually do this with our food, but for exploration purposes, taking your snack and just placing it up to your ear. And then moving your fingers, letting your snack roll in between your fingers. Again, maybe applying some pressure, noticing any sounds and popcorning out what you're noticing.
I people listening are gonna be like, "What's wrong?" Don't like doing that because it's crummy. And I don't like crumbs, the way they feel, the way they look on my counter or desk. So it's bothering me to do that.
Great. So you're noticing some aversion, even as you're just resting attention on listening, noticing some aversion coming up to the experience. Okay. And now I'm going to invite you to use your sense of smell. So if you care to, again, this is just like all of our practices, it's optional, but if you care to take your snack to your nose and just inhaling, noticing what's here.
That's a good one. I like that. So it's sweet. And like if I had a candle like this, I'd be really happy.
So noticing instead of when you were using your sense of hearing, there was some aversion, it sounds to me, you're noticing some labeling, this is good, you're liking it.
It's sweet and like edible, like kind of makes you want to take a bite.
So noticing what's coming up in your mouth, maybe, if anything's changing as you notice that you want to take a bite. And then we're going to now invite ourselves to take our snack and just gently place it in between the lips like this.
I'm not gonna be able to respond, but okay.
And just because I have to talk, I'm taking my snack out of my mouth for or in from being in between my lips for a moment. So just noticing how this snack feels, noticing the sensation of the contact of the snack between the lips, maybe noticing if anything is happening inside the mind or inside the mouth, noticing if there's an urge to eat your snack.
It's actually bothering me because I just want to take a bite. So it's pushing me to kind of force myself to leave it there. Just it's a little bite-sized thing, so I just want to crunch, but I can't.
Yes. So noticing some impatience and some desire to eat your snack. So then mindfully, without taking a bite just yet, choosing which side or where, not even it may be the center, but just choosing where to place your snack within the mouth. And just letting your snack rest in the mouth, noticing what's coming up for you, maybe noticing the texture as your snack rests inside your mouth. And then when you feel ready, just take one mindful bite. Noticing the texture, maybe noticing feelings, satisfaction, noticing what's coming up for you. And waiting until you get the urge, but then allowing yourself to mindfully continue to chew your snack. And then waiting until you're ready to mindfully swallow your snack. And then once you've swallowed your snack, just allowing yourself to really rest in this meditative state, noticing what's here after having eaten just one snack mindfully.
What's
And then
really
if you,
interesting is it kind of really makes you want to really slow down and do that with every bite. Like it was delicious, right? So it makes me kind of say, oh, I'm not just saying this for the listeners, like because I eat so fast all the time, I'm not appreciating. I could like appreciate that bite. I didn't just like put it in my mouth to eat it and swallow, right? Like I really feel like if I did that with, first of all, it'd take me a little longer, but if I did that with every bite, I probably wouldn't eat as much.
interesting. So you're noticing sort of sounds like it was a pleasurable experience and the
The
enjoyment.
satisfaction of the bite versus being done the snack and then saying, "Ooh, that was good," is very different. Like I think I would be more satiated and satisfied if I did that with every bite.
Okay. All right, great. Well, we're going to do one more round and then I'm going to check in with you again. But this is a little bit more interactive than the first round. So taking your snack, your second snack, and I can let listeners know. So I have here a red apple that's really juicy. I'm noticing my fingers are getting sticky and they're wet here. And what snack do you have?
I have like a piece of a granola bar, like a
Okay.
kind.
Okay. So with this second round, it's going to be more of a contemplative practice rather than a sensory experience. And what we're going to be contemplating with this second round is all that it took for our respective snacks to be with us today. So for me, it's my apple. For you, there's a little bit more going on, like an actual food that you have. So just if you can popcorn out what it took to have your granola bar be in the form that it's in with you today.
Well, it used to have to take a lot of people, but I'm guessing now it's a lot of machinery that had to
Mhm.
form all of these different ingredients and put them together, right? So oats and chocolate, dark chocolate, and
My
some
favorite.
sugar, and what else is in here? I don't granola, and kind of smush them and put them together and keep them stuck together, right? In a kind of shape.
Hmm. How about going back even a little bit further, like some of the foods, like were they always like that? Like what did it take to have the foods grow or to be in some type of existence?
Yeah, it's super unbelievable if you think about it. I mean, to make chocolate, we know that it comes from a cacao bean first, right? I mean, isn't that
Yeah, yeah,
and then oats are oats, right?
yeah, yeah.
So, and then I don't really know how granola is made, but I don't know what keeps this together. That's what's freaking me out. Like, what keeps it stuck together? Like, I'm looking. Well,
So
here,
some,
if you want to get really upset, look at the ingredients of your snack, right? If you're eating a processed food, so cane sugar and canola oil and honey in the beginning, and oats are the first ingredient.
well,
Cane
that's
sugar.
great. Honey, we can even go back with that, like just thinking the process of honey alone, right? So knowing without having to read too much into the ingredients, but knowing just based on what you shared. I mean, going back to the cows and the what the cows eat and we need water and sunlight and really allowing yourself to take in everything that it took to create this one granola bar. And the same for me, the apple that's here. I mean, as I reflect on it, it took water and there was a seed and took sun and it grew. And just thinking about all of the people, you mentioned machinery, but there's a lot from the people who help these fruits or this particular fruit grow to the people that pick the apples and they get on the trucks and then they
Delivered it.
they go through the packaging. There are people who get them on, into the grocery store and place just so. And then let's not forget us moms or working parents who take the time out of our busy day to get in our cars or walk to the store, bike to the store to get these foods, right? And what goes into making the money to, if we really just sort of
Um,
take in all that it took for these little snacks to be with us. Really taking that in, I invite you now to mindfully eat your second snack.
laughing because
How loud my chewing might be coming
for
through.
me, like I always have a funny story with stuff, right? So this is how like unmindfully I eat and how much I need Courtney in my life. Like if you give me like a hard candy or a lollipop, my kids laugh at me because instantly I break. I cannot suck on a lollipop. I cannot suck on a hard candy. Like right away, Evie's like, "You're a biter." Like there's something about I can't just have it in my. It needs to be. I chew it up and I swallow it. Right. So it's like if I just take the time to do what we're doing, I probably enjoy it more as well. I'm laughing at myself because even when I pop it in my mouth, I chew right away. So
No,
I do
this
things fast.
this is great to see. This is great to give a voice because this for most of us this is not the way we normally eat. I know that this is not the way I typically eat an apple or any food, but as I heard you say, like you're appreciating, you noticed how much more satisfaction you were getting out of just the first snack, the first experience, the first part of this. And the second, like really being able to appreciate all that goes into our foods, our snacks. And we can see, and just from your sharing, that we miss out on our meals when we sort of rush or we eat without being mindful. And this is a great metaphor for our lives because,
Just going to say, like, the presence is not there.
yeah, we miss out. We miss out on a lot of the moments of our lives. And it's, it's great when we can see just from these small snacks that are like each moment, whether it's our food or each moment in our life, that it can be better when we actually choose to show up for it.
Yeah.
And like it didn't take, we took some more time, we were giggling and whatnot, but like it doesn't take a lot of effort and it doesn't have to take so much time. But our foods and the moments of our lives can be that much more vivid when we actually choose to show up for them and to be with them, like to engage our senses and to show up for the experience, which, given the busyness of our lives and how much we juggle at any given moment, they often slip on by. So
Yes.
I really love mindful eating because I think that even if you don't have the time in the middle of your day or the later part or earlier to sit down and have a full meal, you can take a moment, whether it's your chewing gum, whether it's a hot cup of coffee, whether it's a glass of water or a glass of wine, whatever it is you're having, you can choose to really show up for the experience. And it can be a practice that can deepen your moment to moment awareness in all the parts of your life.
So,
Yeah.
like, this is a start, this is a practice, this is the muscle that we talk about, right? And
Yes.
then you can apply this to other things in your life. Like, you know, those people in your life, Courtney, that like you could probably name one or two. There are few, but that when you talk to them, you feel like the center of the universe because you
Yes.
are there, like they're looking at you, they're hearing your every word, they're seeing you, right? It's not
Yes.
everybody, but it's like those couple people you could probably name one or two in your life. I can.
Yes. Yes.
And it's an unbelievable gift. They are there. They are present for the conversation. They're not doing other things and talking to you and hearing you, but kind of, they're Courtney is what you say is their world, right?
We,
It's impossible for us to do that 24/7, but it's really wonderful, like with your spouse, with your child.
yeah. No, it's we offer at the Center for Mindfulness at Jefferson and in the programs I offer, there are whole courses, like week-long courses several week-long courses where we teach mindful communication. And what we find in the program is that when we mindfully listen, like when we're fully present, and it's not, you don't have to be giving advice or even saying anything back, but when you're fully present for someone, that person feels so deeply heard.
Oh my
So it's a
gosh, it's an
gift.
unbelievable experience. It is.
Yeah. And it doesn't, like you said, even the people who I can think of who are 90% of the time like that, like we get pulled and we get sort of, distracted. And that's just because of the type of world that we live in right now. But the great thing, as you mentioned with the muscle, we can more quickly notice, okay, when we're checked out, when we're distracted, when we're not paying attention. And the ability to see that is what allows us to come back to our snack, our spouses, our children. My kids know it. They know. Like if I'm giving, the other night I was giving Caleb a bath, and he's my youngest guy, and I was texting my aunt at the same time, and he was telling me a story about camp, and I felt really bad. He caught me, like he's like, "Mom, are you listening?" And I was hearing what he's saying if you asked
Yeah,
me to repeat,
believe me.
but I wasn't engaged. And for a second, I'm a mindfulness teacher. What I'm not paying
But you're
attention to.
also human.
I'm human, and so it was great for me to notice that, like, yeah, I'm hearing him, but am I truly hearing him? Am I fully
Is he being
present?
heard and feeling heard? Yeah.
Yeah. So even the littlest guys and girls, they pick up on that, and we can feel it. We can feel it. So how beautiful when we
It's
can take.
not to make you kick yourself. This is not to shame
No.
you for not doing that. It's to invite you, as Courtney says, invite you to try it.
Yeah.
Just practice like once in the day and see how it feels.
Yeah. So we do, so in the MBSR program, this is taught and we say, throughout the week, just try it with a meal if you can. You may not be able to eat like a whole meal, maybe you can, but even just a snack, just trying it a few times throughout the week, it can make all the difference. So thank you for
Sure.
being
I
willing
want
to
your,
practice
your
mindful
mindful
eating.
anything, let alone mindful eating, guinea pig any day. Hopefully it will have, I think it'll have an effect on my day. I can think of a couple people in my life that could use this as a practice. So
And one last suggestion. I will say when I first had the experience of practicing mindful eating, it was during the MBSR program. And like I said in the beginning, this is traditionally done with raisins. And I happen to like raisins, but I always thought I liked the dark raisins. That I had some type of
not the
aversion.
golden guys.
I think it was something in the back of my head. It's a little fuzzy, but I'm kind of remembering having golden raisins as a really young child, like maybe in preschool. Something happened. There's something there, and like golden raisins or golden raisins, I think they are. They were just not part of my
Yeah.
preferred raisin category. So the teacher went around and she had a spoon and she was handing, this was pre-pandemic when we were in person for the class, which by the way is now back in person, but at the time she was handing out a couple of the golden raisins, and as soon as I saw it I was like, oh,
Yeah.
what are we doing with
Please.
this? I will say that having a beginner's mind and being curious and open to the experience, that may, to this very day, have been the most delicious raisin I've ever had.
For
So,
sure.
yeah, so not only with our foods, but with our experiences in life, when we can be with them with a fresh perspective, with a sense of curiosity, it can really make a difference in how we experience each of the moments of our lives. So,
Love that.
thank you
I
again,
sure. Anytime. Super fun.
and looking forward to our next
Me
episode
too.
together.
Love it.
Take care.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.